Hello folks, very good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, we'll be having some of the most difficult questions that is probably been asked in the concept of encryption. Okay, just make sure that whenever you are appearing for any kind of interview, just go through the company's overview. Just know about what sort of company that is, what kind of things they have been doing, and you will get a brief description about that company. Okay, so before that I make sure that you go through it and try to answer in a very summarized manner what kind of things they have been doing, what sort of protocols, rules, regulation they have been following, and which kind of industry is that. Okay, and then after how, in which date it has been established, and the found locations, headquarters. Try to have all the stuffs in your mind before appearing this kind of interview. Okay, and the thing is that whenever you are appearing for interview or in the form of video conferencing through online, make sure that your internet connectivity is high. I even say very high, without any kind of fluctuation, because it impacts a lot, folks. I lost one of the most biggest company I ever had, and eventually still now I'm regretting what mistake I have done. Then after clearing your base, yes, I made a mistake because I've gone through one of the advanced concept, but I have missed my base concepts, okay, or fundamental concepts that eventually made me realize about what fault I have been done, what fault I have done to to make it more regret about the things which I have done. So yeah, that is very crucial, that is very important. Okay, so okay, no issues on that. So let us proceed about the interview question that is basically been asked in the form of encryption. So make sure that please do a subscription to this channel, like the channel, share the channel, and get the latest update regarding any cyber affairs. Okay, so in this we'll be having a discussion on encryption. Okay, encryption, what it is, how it is, and I have already promised you that I will be giving a brief about symmetric and encryption, asymmetric encryption, as well as cryptocurrency, cryptographic mining, everything. I will be having a discussion on that. So yeah, this is how actually the video starts with. So certainly the 50, or we can say 25 to 50 important questions. Okay, so to 50 it is much more, but I will be having 25 as of now. Okay, interview questions related to crypto encryption, along with the concise answers. Okay, so first question is, what is end-to-end encryption and why it is important? Because see, end-to-end encryption ensures that data is encrypted, okay, from the sender to the recipient. Okay, make sure that from the sender to the recipient, okay, to the recipient, it is what happens from the sender to the recipient. Okay, it is encrypted, okay, preventing unauthorized access during that transmit. Okay, so whenever you are sending one certain data, it is in the form of encrypted form. It is secure, much more secure, which cannot be authorized to anyone. So it is important that maintaining confidentiality and privacy. Okay, maintaining confidentiality and privacy. Then after, explain the difference between the symmetric and asymmetric encryption. It is one of the question, one of the type of the question also, I can say, in the form of encryption whenever they have been asked. So symmetric encryption uses only single key. Okay, or we can say a single key for both encryption and decryption, while asymmetric uses a pair of key, that is public and private key, okay, for these operations. Then after, what is digital signature and how does it contributes to maintain the integrity? So digital signature is very important, folks, in the whenever you are appearing for the interview, right? They will definitely refer encryption with this digital kind of signature, because see, what happens is that a digital signature is a cryptographic technique. Okay, again I repeat you, a digital signature, what it is, a cryptographic technique, or we can say CT. Okay, so here the cryptographic technique that basically starts verifying the authenticity and integrity of a message. One is authenticity and there is integrity. Okay, authenticity and there is integrity of the messages, or we can even say documents, because it uses the sender private key to sign the messages, and the recipient uses the sender's public key to verify the signature. Okay, again I repeat, it uses the sender's private key, okay, to sign the message, and the recipient uses the sender's public key to verify the signature. Okay, sender uses private key and the recipient uses the public key. Okay, SP and SP, private and public. Okay, RSP means sender and private, and RP means receiver. Okay, who receive or recipient. RP here public key. Okay, because here the sender uses, maybe the sender may use to multiple resources, because the merchant should have to you can say the merchant should have to know the public key interface whenever they are using this digital signature, because it is a cryptographic technique that basically verifies the authenticity and integrity of any kind of messages or documents. Then after, how does the Diffie-Hellman key exchange work? So Diffie-Hellman key exchange allows two parties to secure established or say secret over an insecure communication channel. Okay, so it involves private and public key, enabling the secure key exchange without directly transmitting the secrets. So this is how a Diffie-Hellman key or key exchange basically works. Then after, what is cryptographic hash function? Okay, and why it is used? Very important, folks. I have already said in the beginning itself, we'll be having a discussion in cryptography, because see what happens is here that a cryptographic hash function basically transfers input data into a fixed size strings of characters. Basically it provides an unique hash value, because it is used for data integrity verification, like password storage and after digital signatures. So explain the concept of a nonsense encryption. So a nonsense number of used number, or can say used ones, is a random or unique number which is basically been used in cryptographic protocols. Okay, to basically prevents and replay on attacks. Because what happens here is that it ensures that the same messages with the same key does not produce the same hypertext. Okay, hypertext. So this is how actually the concept of nonsense in encryption basically works. Again, I repeat, what is cryptography hash function and why it is used. See, cryptographic hash function transforms the input data into fixed size strings of characteristics. Okay, try to concentrate it because it is very important, folks, because very important also, I can say. It transfers the input data into fixed size strings, fixed size string of characters. Okay, it provides a unique hash value, and it is also used for data integrity verification, like password storage and digital signature, which I have discussed, right? Digital signature, which basically is your CT. Okay, CT, which kind of technique is that? Cryptographic tech. See, CT cryptographic technique. Okay, so then after, can you describe the role of a salt in password hashing? So a salt is a random value. Okay, again I repeat, a salt is a random value, okay, added to each user's password before hashing. Okay, it is a random value that is basically been what used each user password before hashing. So it prevents attackers from using a pre-computed table, rainbow table, for multiple hash, okay, with the same password. So what is the importance of okay, what is the importance of perfect forward secret in encryption protocols? So perfect forwards CCR secret ensures that even if a long-term secret key is compromised, past communication remains secure, because each session is a unique and not retrieved from the compromised key. This is how the perfect key, okay, perfect forward secret is C is encryption, basically in encryption protocol virtually work, or importance of that. Then after, how does the RSA algorithm works, and what are its strengths and weaknesses? See, RSA is a asymmetric algorithm, because it uses public and private key for encryption and decryption. So because it is mathematical properties of large prime numbers, okay, its strength lies in secure key exchange and digital signature, but it can be computational expenses. What is quantum encryption and how does it differ from classical encryption? So quantum encryption uses quantum key distribution to secure the communication channel, because it leverages the principle. Okay, because what it does, it leverages the principle of quantum mechanics. As it says, quantum encryption, it uses quantum mechanics, offering a theoretically unbreakable encryption through non-calling algorithm or theorem. Explain the concept of homomorphic encryption. folks, very important, whatever I'm saying in the form of encryption, please note it down in any of the note. I will also note it down, because once I cover up all the session, cover up all the video, I will be noting it down in my notes, because it is very important whatever questions I've been displaying you in front of. So homomorphic encryption allows the computational of an encrypted data without decrypting. This is useful for maintaining the privacy and while also performing the computation on sensitive information. How does you prevent forward carry in communication protocol? So forward carry is implemented by generating a unique session key, okay, for each communication session. Because what happens here is that even one key is compromised, it does not compromise the secure of past future section. This is how actually the importance of perfect forward key encryption works. Okay, same I can say. Then after, what is the role of key derivation function in encryption? So key derivation function, or KDF, transform the secret key into a strong key suitable for use in encryption for authentication. It adds a entropy and make it more resistant for any kind of brute force kind of attack. Explain the concept of quantum resistance cryptography. So quantum resistance cryptography basically involves the development of cryptographic algorithm. Basically it maintains or remains secure against attacks by quantum computers, because what happens here is that in which have the potential or can say potential to have the potential to break many existing many encryption schemas or schematics. So how does a man in the middle attack threaten the encrypted communication, and how it can be mitigated? So in man in the middle attack, what happens here is that an adversely inspects and potentially alerts the communication between two parties, and this kind of encryption along may not prevent this, but it can be mitigated through techniques like digital signature and a secure key exchange formats. So what is the difference between a hashing and encryption? Very good question, because when I start giving the description about what is encryption and hashing, right, I made a example. So encryption is all about making one textable format, plain text to unreadable format, where hashing is just about hashing is a one-way function that produce fixed size output hash from input data and used for integrity check, while encryption involves reversible transformation of data into hypertext using a key, providing the confidentiality. Okay, so it uses both the way, while hash uses only one way communication. Then after coming to the 17th number question, how does a rainbow table attack? A very important question, folks. What is rainbow table attack? Explore the weaknesses of password storage. See, so rainbow table attacks exploit the pre-compute table of hash values of a common password. Okay, salting password prevents rainbow table attack by ensuring the unique hash value even for identical passwords. Can you explain the concept of zero knowledge proof in cryptographic protocol? So zero knowledge proofs allows one party to prove the knowledge of certain information on another party without delivering the information itself. It is used for authentication without exposing the sensitive data. What is the role does Entopo plays a generating cryptographic key? So Entopo is a measure of randomness. Okay, high entropy key generation ensure that the key are less predictable and more secure. Randomness is essential for cryptographic strengths. How does the birth date paradox related to cryptography has function? The birth date paradox refers to the probability of two people sharing the same birth date in hash functions. What happens is that it highlights the increasing and the likelihood of two different inputs, and which starts producing the same hashes in the number of outputs they have been grown. Okay, so coming to the 21st number is all about explain the concept of side channel attack in the context of encryption. So what happens is that a side channel attack targets the vulnerabilities, okay, in the physical implementation of a cryptographic system, because it starts exploiting the information leaked through unintended channel and like power consumption, or we can even say timing. what is the role of a key in core encryption, and what are the associated privacy concerns. So here what actually happened is that key encryption involves storing a copy of encryption key with a third party. Okay, while it can assist in key recovery, privacy concern arise as it's introduced the risk of unauthorized access to any kind of sensitive kind of informations. So how does a quantum computer pose a threat to current encryption methods, and what are the potential solutions? So quantum computers have the potential to break widely used encryption algorithm, like we can say RSA and ECC, through algorithm like spore algorithm. Post quantum cryptography, okay, is being developed as a solution involving quantum resistance and algorithm. Can you explain the principle behind curve cryptography, or ECC? So elliptic curve cryptography is an asymmetric encryption, like just like RSA, or algorithm based on elliptic curve over time for finite field. Okay, it provides a strong security with a shortened key length compared to traditional asymmetric algorithms. Then after, what is the significance of initial vector? Okay, initialization vector or initiation vector in block zipper mode of cooperation. The IV, okay, is used to ensure that plain text blocks are encrypted with the same key produced different encrypted text. It exchanges the security of block zipper mode, like CBC, zipper blockchain. Okay, how does the concept of security through obstruction applies to cryptographic system? A security through obstruction relies on keeping the details of a system secret, while it can provide a layer of extra layer of security. Okay, so these are the 26 questions which I have said till now. So I hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you folks for giving your time here.
आशा करता हूँ कि आप सब ठीक हो, खुश हो, वेल हो, फाइन हो, गुड हो। तो फिर हम पिछला वीडियो में डिस्कस किए थे कि मालवेयर के बारे में, ठीक है, मालवेयर के बारे में और उसका डिफरेंट वेरिएंट्स जैसे कि रैंसमवेयर हो गया, और उसके बाद स्पाईवेयर हो गया उसका, और उसके बाद एडवेयर हो गया, और डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मालवेयर फैमिली के बारे में डिस्कस किए थे। उसके साथ साथ हम ये भी डिस्कस किए थे कि उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन सो वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ रैंसमवेयर एंड इट्स प्रोबेबिलिटीज़ अबाउट about the description we have discussed, and different variants of malware distribution, what actually it is there. Okay, we have discussed all the things in detail, but in this video we'll be having a discussion regarding distributed denial of or you can say denial of service attack. Okay, DoS attack. So what actually a DoS attack is, and how actually we can mitigate this DoS attack, and what are the different variants of DoS attack. Okay, you will be having a discussion all the about this, and I hope it will be very much helpful. So what actually the definition of distributed or you can say denial of service attack means by. So denial of service attack is a malicious targeted attack that flouts a network with false request in order to disrupt the business operation. So it is just like flood. Whenever it comes, we need to be aware, right? We need to be much more protected. We need to save our things, and we must and should have a disaster recovery plan to mitigate this flood, right? So in the similar way, for cyber attacks also we have a distributed or you can say denial of service attack, which basically floods the network. Okay, so the for more definition I can go in a DOS attack. User are unable to perform routine necessary tasks, okay, such as accessing the email or website, online accounts, or other resources that are operated by compromised network, or we can say compromised computer, or even we can say networks. Okay, so while most DOS attack do not result in host data and are typically resolved without paying a ransom, okay, so they cost the organization time, money, and other resources in order to restore critical business operations. Okay, so this is how actually the डॉस अटैक बेसिकली बिन परफॉर्म. ओके, तो फिर हम इसमें डॉस अटैक के बारे में डिस्कस किए थे और उसका नेसेसिटी क्या क्या हो सकता है, और वो अगर कंप्रोमाइज़ हो गया तो फिर क्या क्या हम नेसेसिटी रिकवरी कैसे ले सकते हैं, वो भी हम इस वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे। सो इसमें ये भी दिया है कि डॉस अटैक 2 डिफरेंट टाइप्स में, एक है डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड डिनाइल ऑफ सर्विस और दूसरा है डॉस अटैक। सो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड डिनाइल ऑफ सर्विस में क्या होता है कि हैज़ टू डू ओके विद द ओरिजिन ऑफ अटैक। सो डॉस अटैक ओरिजिनेट्स फ्रॉम जस्ट वन सिस्टम वाइल DDoS अटैक्स आर लॉन्च्ड फ्रॉम मल्टीपल सिस्टम। ठीक है, तो डॉस अटैक क्या होता है, एक ही सिस्टम में एक्चुअली हैंग करता है या फिर एक ही सिस्टम में टारगेट करके फ्लॉक करता है, लेकिन DDoS में क्या होता है, एक से ज़्यादा, मल्टीपल। ओके, सो दैट्स हाउ एक्चुअली इट लॉन्चेस। ओके, सो DDoS attacks are faster and harder to block than DOS attack, okay, because multiple system must be identified and neutralized to had the attack. Okay, so this is how actually the DOS attack basically been performed. Okay, so हम इस वीडियो में डिस्कस किए थे DOS attack के बारे में और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड डिनाइल ऑफ सर्विस अटैक के बारे में। हम चलते हैं फिशिंग अटैक। तो फिशिंग आप सब जानते हो कि फिशिंग अटैक्स क्या होता है। ठीक है, अगर हम इस नया जनरेशन जो कि AI बेस्ड जनरेशन में फिशिंग अटैक एक कॉमन अटैक भी है, हम मान सकते हैं, राइट। सो फिशिंग अटैक एक बहुत ही ज़्यादा मात्रा में होता है दोस्तों। वाई इट इज़ हैपनिंग इन ए वेरी स्मार्ट वे और in a futuristic way also we can say, because phishing attack is some kind of attack where the attacker launches or targets a system through a legitimate mail. Okay, so like I am offering something or latest update or patch updates or security or notifications. In the form of this, they usually compromise the system. Just one click devast everything. Okay, so this is maybe one of the most crucial part of all the attack, because phishing attacks is somewhat we cannot even determine, we cannot even stop that. Even we have robust technological advanced tool to mitigate that, even though we will be having a differentiation between that. Okay, so phishing is a type of cyber attack that uses email, okay, SMS, phone, social media and social engineering techniques, okay, to alert our victims to share sensitive information, okay, such as passwords or account number, or to download a malicious file that will install viruses on the computer or even phones. Okay, so common phishing attacks, what are the different common phishing attacks? So in the upcoming video we will be having a discussion on that. So what sort of phishing attacks basically includes, and just like malware. So please stay tuned. Okay, I will not be taking much of your time folks, so it is very informative. Thanks for joining the session.